Hey, welcome to booktomykids.com. In this video I'm going to show you how to create an entire book using shared content, how to use the book previewer, and how to purchase a book. I'm assuming you've already created an account, so we're going to go ahead and log in. Okay, I'm also assuming that you haven't created any books yet, so your account menu is blank. So you're just going to say begin new book. At first you're presented with the book file name. This isn't the title of the book, it's just a file name. So you can just call it My First Book and hit next. Now you're presented with the book title and the author. So the book title, the default is Book to My Kids. You can name it whatever you want or modify it. We'll say My Book to My Kids. And this would be your login name. I have the login name as Sally Smith, but it would be whatever your name is. If you wanted to modify that and make the author something different, you could do that. You could say Mom and Dad or whatever you wanted. And next. The next page talks about how the different chapters work, but I'm going to explain that in more detail. So the main chapter selection menu is really where you're going to be spending most of your time. You select the different chapters that you want to have in your book, like the dedication, a little bit about mom's favorite things as their teens and their 20s. You could have a little bit about dad, and then all the various chapters that you want. Let's put one in on family, marriage, children, priorities, anything that you want to have in your book. Once you've selected the chapters you want, you can get started with editing each chapter. At the very bottom, you can also add a chapter of your own. So when you click Add a Chapter, it wants you to name the chapter. If you don't name the chapter and you go to start working on something else, you're going to get an error message that pops up saying that blank titles are not allowed. So you have to go back down and add a title to that new chapter that you created. We're going to say it's maybe a chapter on vacations. And then you can click away. If you want to move a chapter, you can click on the chapter and drag it. So if I wanted to put vacations up right after children, I can do that. If I wanted to rename any chapter, I can do that as well. So in other words, if I want to rename the chapter on, let's see, sports and exercise, I wanted to just rename it so it was just sports and teams. That's no problem. Okay? Okay, so let's get into editing. So starting with a book dedication, you would select Edit. And you're going to see start typing here. That literally means you just start to type. So you would just either start typing your book dedication, or you start looking at these buttons up top. You have View User Content, Insert Picture, Save and Back to Chapter Selection, or Preview. We're going to look at View User Content. So here's where you're presented with a bunch of different ideas for maybe different book dedications. So you can view each one, either add it or cancel. And when you find one that you like, you can add it to your book. So now that's in as your book dedication. Once it's added into your book, you can modify it however you want. So if you wanted to say, For Our Wonderful Kids, Bobby and Sally, you could do that. If you want to add in a picture, you can do that as well. You say Insert Picture. You can insert pictures that are previously uploaded, or you can search your computer for a picture. I have some that are previously uploaded, so I'm going to have this picture here. You can resize the picture by clicking on the arrow, and now you've got a picture in with your dedication. You could say Save and Back to Chapter Selection, and start working on the next chapter. So here you have a little bit about Mom. And what these chapters do is they kind of prompt you with different things that you might want to put to describe a little bit about Mom, like a date of birth, And for time's sake, I'm not going to go ahead and fill all these out, but I think you get the idea. And then save them back to chapter selection. Mom's favorite things as a teen. Same type of a thing. You're presented with a bunch of different questions you could answer, and start typing here. If you accidentally move the mouse somewhere else, you'll see the start typing here still remains there. You'll have to delete it. It's no big deal. And then you would start filling this out. If you didn't want to have certain things like TV shows and books, you could delete those, or you could add whatever you want. Again, you can insert a picture. And you could resize the picture however you wanted. And save. Okay, we're going to skip down now to the chapter on family. We select Edit. Now you'll see that you just have a title of the chapter, which is family. You could view user content again, and now you have things that are specific to chapters on family. So you could just start viewing some different pieces of content. When you find one you like, you can either add it to the chapter or cancel, and maybe view another piece of content. And once you find something that you like, you can say add the content to chapter, and it automatically goes into your chapter. Now I would expect you probably want to modify it, add to it, or you can always delete a paragraph. Once it's downloaded into your book, you can modify it how you want. When you're actually in the view user content part and you hit view, you can't edit anything. You won't be able to delete or to add anything because you're just previewing the content. It's not until after you add it into your book, and it'll add wherever you had left the cursor off last time. Now you can actually make modifications to it, take out a paragraph or a sentence, or add whatever you wanted into that. And once you're done with that, save them back to chapter selection, and you could go on to the next chapter, say on marriage. Rather than starting with typing, you can insert a picture. And we have a picture for marriage. And you could resize that the way you wanted. And then you could just start typing whatever you wanted to on marriage. You get the idea. For time's sake, we'll go ahead and move on. So we already went through the edit function, the renaming of the chapter. Again, when you hit rename, you can rename family to family and friends if you wanted to, whatever you wanted to do. Okay. The other thing you can do is you can decide if you want to share the chapter contents with other users. So if you wrote something that you think is really worthwhile that you wanted to share with other users on children, you would just click share or you'd click the box under share chapter with others, and only that chapter that you selected on children would get presented to booktomykids.com editors. They would review the shared content, make sure it's appropriate, and then post it on the website within the next couple of days. If you decided you didn't want to share it, you could uncheck it. So the default is not to share your content, but if you select the box next to it, the content gets shared. Okay? So you would continue to write all the different chapters in your book, and then whenever you wanted to preview the book, you could click on preview. You don't have to purchase it just because you click on preview. And you can do that throughout the progress of writing your book. I encourage that. It's a good way to see what your book looks like. Now, we left a lot of the chapters blank just for time's sake, so it's not you're not going to get to see what a real book would look like here, but you will get to get a little bit of a preview. So right now it's just composing all the different chapters that you put together. It comes up with a warning here that you didn't design the front or the back cover, so you would not be able to purchase the book yet. I'll show you how to do that next. So you can see you have the book title on the front page. You have the dedication, the table of contents, and these are the chapters that we had selected that are automatically in the order that you put them. Remember, you added the chapter on vacations, but then you slid it up from the bottom into the middle of the table of contents, so that's where it appears. When you want to turn pages, you just click on either the upper right or the lower right, and the pages will flip. A little bit about Mom. There's Mom as a teen with the picture in her 20s, and the chapter on family, marriage, children, and again, we left a lot of these blank for just time's sake. And then you would just select cancel to get back into the book editor. And now let's go ahead and design the front and the back cover. So you click on Design Front Cover, and you see the title. We had changed the title to My Book to My Kids, and we said the author is Mom and Dad. Let's go ahead and insert a picture. We have one on family here. You can change the size of the picture. And then on the front and the back cover, you can change the color. So there's a little paint can here. You click on that, select the color that you want the book cover to be. And you can also change the font style and the font size. So we want to make it fit all in one line. And also the font color. Let's say we want to make it dark blue instead of black. Okay. Once you're satisfied with the way the front cover looks, you say save, and then design the back cover. Now you notice that the back cover is already the same color as the front cover, and you can't modify or change the back cover to be a different color. It's going to always take on the same properties. You could either start typing something that you want to have appear on the back cover, or what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the chapter selection, select the book dedication, I'm going to go ahead and copy the text from that book dedication using either Control-C or Command-C, depending on whether you're using a Mac or PC. Go back to the back cover and paste it there with Command-V or Control-V, and now you've got your dedication on the back cover. And if you wanted to put that same picture in, you could do that as well. There you go. Now when you preview, you can actually purchase the book. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So that took you through a very quick explanation of how you can use the different shared content, download it into your book. You can move chapters around, select different chapters, choose to share a chapter, rename your chapter, design the front and the back cover, and now we're using the previewer, and then the final step would be how you would purchase the book. So it shows you your book at this point is 25 pages. The initial copy would be $49. All subsequent copies would be $39. All the way up to 50 pages, that price doesn't change. It then goes up just a little bit after that. Once you've previewed your book and everything is the way you want it, you can select Purchase. Takes you to a checkout page. There's a place where you can enter a promotion code. We do have a code going through November 2011 called Holidays 2011. And you apply that, and it takes 20% off of your book. You would fill out in all the billing information, the shipping information, select the method of shipment that you want, and then when you're ready, you would say place order. Hopefully that helps you get a good idea of how to use this website from beginning to end. If you have any questions, you can select Contact Us, and send an email to info@booktomykids, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you may have and get back to you within a day or two. Keep writing, and thank you for watching this video on booktomykids.com.